one of Gwen's friends always says hello to us on Instagram, and I never see the comments there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she watches us there, and I guess if you're watching Gwen's friend on
Well,
Instagram,
it's not live yet. Like it takes a second.
It takes a second.
Now it is, but
It
like
is
it's going to be
live?
a minute before people start commenting.
All right. So if you're there, Gwen's friend on Instagram, hello to you, because she says that you say hello every morning, and we don't ever get to see the comments there. I tried to explain to her.
And we can't even see them after the fact. Like, because as soon as the live is over, Instagram says, we're discarding this video. It's like it never happened.
It's like Mission Impossible.
Right.
It just blows them up. Yeah. So
Sorry, Instagram.
So all the Instagram folks saying hello to us, we want to say hello to you. So hi. We just don't get to see you. It's just, we see certain comments and then other comments we don't see. So
yeah.
Sorry
yeah. But like, there are a couple people saying good morning on Instagram.
I know.
I just want to be me, Dan PM, Angie Banji, W Tolmac. There's a lot of people on Instagram saying hi.
They do say hi. We love you too. You're very important. Right. We just don't get to see you much during the show. So, all right. So you guys make sure you're going to mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks. You guys, if you're a dude or if you're a woman with really gigantic feet, I mean, it happens, right? The men's white slides are just $9.50, which is fantastic. And then other colors they have for $25. These are like pillowy and soft and awesome. Go buy some white slides, $9.50. mypillow.com/chicks. Use code chicks.
I don't know how long those are going to last, man. I don't know. So if you need good slides for the summer, just get on the stick.
Everybody needs good slides for the summer. What else is going on? I think also, you guys, make sure you're putting us in your pocket.
Right there.
That you're clicking the subscribe button with your right there, and then putting us here or in your fanny pack. God, I need more coffee this morning. It is. It is a morning.
Hot. Like,
it is
we're
a Monday.
Finally having summer weather here, and it's hot.
It's hot. I've got my fan going. I know it's
hot here.
Somebody asked
beads of sweat.
I get it. I totally get it. It's somebody. Maureen asked, "What the heck?" We're gonna get to Kristi Noem.
Oh, don't you worry. We are going to get to that.
What the hell, Kristi Noem? Yeah.
It always cracks me up how you say her last name with 2 syllables.
I do. I can't. It's Noem. It's Noem. And I say Noem. Like
you say Noem, and Noem. I think it's just Noem.
Noem. I'm going to say Noem forevermore.
Noem.
But it's like gnome. It's like a gnome, like one of your little gnomes in the front yard. It's one of those.
That's gnome to you. That's gnome.
Yeah, it is.
Get it right.
It totally is gnome.
Okay, let's get to some things, because you guys, last week was such a hellacious week, right? Like, it was so just dreadful to talk about everything. And there's dreadful stuff to talk about, obviously, because we're in Biden's America currently. So there's always going to be like shitstorms to talk about. However, I feel like today's show is just more fun than it has been in a while. And so it's going to be good. We have a lot of variety. It's going to be a variety show today. So it's going to be a lot more. It's just not going to be as soul sucking as last week was.
Which is good. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus.
Right.
Yeah,
we need that. Just a couple quick hits before we get to videos, though. The first thing is Jill Stein, who you may know from such things as constantly running for president.
Right. And not doing anything else.
Not doing anything else.
Every 4 years, she's just like, hey, I'm back. I'm running for president.
So she got arrested because she decided to join in some of the pro-terror protests that are happening all across the college campuses. This one in particular at Washington University, she joined in and she got herself arrested, which, I guess if she's looking for a way to remind people that here she is, that was one way to do it.
Yeah,
right?
There you go. She loves Hamas. There you go.
And then we've got some later in the show, we've got some good news if you like polls. There's some good news polls happening, but to counterbalance the good news polls, there is some guy, Professor Alan Lichtman, who apparently people know of him because he has correctly predicted who would win the presidency correctly for the past 4 decades straight.
Wow.
He's never been wrong, not a single solitary time. And he is saying that Biden will win this November. So that's kind of sucky, right? So is it polls? Is it Professor Lichtman? I don't know. Like, who do you want to listen to?
And does he give reasoning behind?
Oh yeah. In fact, if you do a Google search on Professor Alan Lichtman and look for the 13 keys, he says there are 13 keys that he uses to figure out who is going to win. And so far, the keys are in Biden's favor. I mean, do with that what you will, right? I'm just saying he's got a pretty good record, and that's a little bit terrifying, but that is
all the people are saying, well, the new voters, all the new voters.
Yeah, but a lot of the new voters are exactly who's protesting, and I don't see them voting for who they call Genocide Joe. I think they're going to go to Kennedy.
You think?
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping
they're not going to vote for Trump. That's for sure.
Well, that's for sure.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right. If they vote for Kennedy, that still votes away from Trump. So
I don't know. I just don't know. But anyway, before we get to videos, I just wanted to brag a little bit about my lilac tree, you guys, because can you see this? Do you see?
Look how beautiful
the lilacs happening. You can see them.
Look at that. I mean, it's hard to see it's hard to see, but I can discern that they are in fact lilac.
You can see the how many separate flowering groupings there are, right? That's my lilac tree from fastgrowingtrees.com.
You're going to have to dig that thing up and take it with you.
I kind of wanna.
I think you should. Seriously. I mean,
I'm so happy with that.
I would.
Oh my gosh. I just love that tree so much. And I knew I would. I mean, even when it came as just a tiny little sapling and it was super boring and it had a few leaves on it, I just knew it had so much potential. I felt so good about it because it came from fastgrowingtrees.com, and they are the best. They are the largest online nursery ever, and they have 2 million plus happy customers. We are both part of that group. And it's because they just make it so freaking easy, even for people who have no idea what they're doing, which I am one of those people when it comes to planting anything. Plus, I don't like bugs or dirt or any of that stuff. So to the extent that they make it super easy, super fast, they give you very specific instructions. Everything comes so ready. You literally just have to dig a hole. You know what I mean? And I can do that.
I like having things delivered to my door. I don't like to go get it. And so it's really nice for them to do that. And my rose bush, I love that they can, I don't even know what are they, I call them drop dead roses, but I know that's not the name of them, but my rose bushes are thriving. They're fantastic. So yeah. I can't believe I can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That you don't have to lug something from a nursery in the trunk of your car and get dirt everywhere. You don't want to, just don't mess with that. Just do the easy thing. Go to fastgrowingtrees.com. When you use code CHICKS, you're going to save an additional 15% off. And they always have huge sales going on various different things. So check out their website frequently, especially if there's something in particular that you're looking for, because you never know when there's going to be a sale for that. And then, of course, when you use CHICKS, the code CHICKS, you're going to save that 15%. Fastgrowingtrees.com. fastgrowingtrees.com.
Yes, they are knockout roses. I call them drop dead roses. They're knockout. They are knockout roses. Why do they call
them that? Is that the actual name?
Knockout. Yeah, they're called knockout roses.
Knockout roses? Huh.
AKA drop dead roses. Yeah.
What was it my husband that was just telling me? This totally reminds me. Yes. It was my son and my husband who were just telling me, because we were watching the Belmont Abbey. They were in the championship game for lacrosse yesterday. They lost, unfortunately, in the championship. But there was an overtime. And so I was asking the boys, well, how do the overtime rules work in college lacrosse? And they were explaining to me that it's sudden death. And then they said, you're not allowed to say sudden death anymore. You're supposed to say sudden victory, because that's too mean, to say sudden death.
Oh my God. Because it's triggering. It's triggering for people.
Can you believe that you're not supposed to say sudden death in sports anymore?
Oh my
so God. Dumb.
I'd still do it. I'd still do it.
Totally.
People are so
anyway.
weird.
That reminded me when you were talking about knockdown, drag out, whatever.
Drag out roses. Yeah.
Aaron Powers, thank you. Aaron says, good morning, chicks. Asking for prayers as I was diagnosed with cancer and I'm heading into surgery to evict my uterus tomorrow morning. Get that sucker out of there.
Get it out.
She says, I've got this, but I'll take all the support and prayers I can get. Love to my chicks fam. You got it. You got it, Aaron. You don't need a uterus. Those things, once you get to a
No.
certain point, man, those things are useless.
Exactly.
Cause nothing but problems. So I'm glad it's getting out. Judy Flackney, thank you. Judy says should be American because Biden is going to be the end of America. See what I did there? Sad face.
Yeah.
Sad face. Let's think positive.
Yes,
Because we have good news polls coming. So you'll see some positivity. Okay. And
maybe that dude, that guy who's been predicting the president's maybe he's just getting old and losing his touch.
Maybe.
Everybody
Totally
can be wrong. Yeah, exactly.
Totally possible. All right, let's get to some stuff. I don't even know what I wrote first. Oh, yes, I do. Okay.
That's just all the time.
What did I write? So if you missed it, and I'm sure you did because you guys are smart people, Howard Stern had Joe Biden on his show.
Hard-hitting journalism right there.
Oh my God. So one of the things that was said is that Joe Biden said that he plans to debate Donald Trump, which was kind of surprising, right? And so we're going to get to the whole debate discussion in just a bit. But first, you have to hear this one clip of when Howard Stern gushed over Biden in the most nauseating of ways. Like, this should give you a clue how the interview went.
Thank you for doing this today. I want to thank you for your compassion. You know, the reason I'm so excited to talk to you was because I wanted to understand the tragedy in your life and how you dealt with it. And you're the kind of leader I love because we're lucky to have you in the Oval Office and serving as the father of the country. Because if you're a good father to your family, which you are, I know you'd be a good father to the country. And I want to thank you for providing a calming influence, an organized administration post-COVID, getting that vaccine out.
Oh my God. Like everything he said was wrong.
Everything.
Every single thing. Like, you're a great father. Really look at his children and you tell me if he's a great father. Because no.
And the way you got that vaccine out there?
That was Trump.
I mean, think what you want about the vaccine, but it wasn't Biden who got it out there. Oh my God.
Trump is the one who fast-tracked it. So everything he said was wrong. And, remember what Howard Stern used to be like, the shock jock? I guess for all intents and purposes, he still is because he's gross. I mean, the guy is really disgusting. I can't believe he chose that show to go on. He knew it was going to be a complete softball interview and he was going to fawn all over him. But he is just like, he has fallen. He's just not what he used to be because he didn't ask him anything that was hard hitting.
He didn't fact check him on a whole bunch of lies.
Right. There was nothing hard hitting about that interview. I mean, Biden won't do interviews with anybody of stature. And then he picks Howard Stern to do a sit down, in-depth interview. It was just like, it was so telling.
Yeah.
Anybody with half a brain is looking at this going, wow, okay, this is our president. It was a joke, a total joke.
And because Biden has lied so many times about the personal anecdotes of his life, I mean, he's made up so many stories, many of which have been debunked. Now, when I hear him talk about Beau and the fact that he wrote this book, Promises to Dad, or whatever that book was called, he's referencing that in this next clip. And I don't believe him. I don't believe the story that you're about to hear.
Oh, I don't either. Yeah.
I don't believe for a second that this actually happened, that this is something that Beau ever said. I think this is completely contrived. And it's Biden's fault that I feel that way because he makes up shit all the time.
Every day.
Here is this story.
He knew his time was up, and one night we were having a dinner at our home before he was incapacitated, hospitalized, and he said, "Dad, can we talk?" And I said, "Sure." And I said, "Look at me, Dad. Promise me, Dad. Promise me, Dad, that you'll not leave public life. I know when I go, you'll want to quit. You'll want to quit." And he looked at me and said, "Dad, give me your word as a Biden. Give me your word."
Wow.
Look at me.
Whoa. Oh my God.
Just not a word. I didn't believe a word of that.
What? Seriously, you're dying, and what you say to your dad is, "Please don't ever leave the government."
Exactly.
Come on.
Right? That's what you care about? Okay.
That is just bull.
I actually think that he was probably the one decent kid.
He may have been the most decent.
The most decent of all of them, honestly.
On a scale, though, that's still not saying much.
It's like, well, I'm grading on a curve. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Yeah, it's because damn is right. Yeah. But the rest of them, I mean, it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And Howard, the fawning. It's so gross. It just shows you, like, Biden, all he has left is celebrities. All he has left is Hollywood. That's who's going to literally push him over the goal line if he makes it. It's celebrities who don't live in the real world. Howard Stern doesn't live in the real world. He has no idea what's going on. He thinks he does. He's so out of touch. When he started off, and if you've ever seen, like, I can't remember the name of his, the movie that was about him.
Oh yeah. What was that? It was so good.
I remember seeing it and liking it at the time, because at that time he sort of was like still kind of a real dude, you know, so far removed now. And COVID wrecked that guy.
Oh my God. He hid for months and months and months and months.
Neurotic. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, and he's not the only fawner, and not the only fawning celebrity when it comes to this administration. Kamala also doing the hard-hitting interview on the Drew Barrymore show.
Oh my God.
Where she talked about how mean it is that people make fun of her laugh. And just look at the way that Drew reacts to her. It's so nauseating.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable watching this. Yeah.
It's super cringe. Watch.
Some people love to talk about the way I laugh.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I love your laugh.
Well, let me just tell you something. I have my mother's laugh. And I grew up around a bunch of women in particular who laughed from the belly. They laughed. They would sit around the kitchen and drinking their coffee, telling big stories with big laughs. I'm never going to be, that's just, I'm not that person.
We know. We're aware.
Yeah, we totally get it. What is it with her getting into people's personal spaces, Drew Barrymore?
I don't know.
What is that?
Know.
She like sits, now I say Indian style, but people say crisscross applesauce.
Another thing, because
you can't say Indian style anymore, right? But she sits crisscross applesauce, as my daughter's generation would say, on the couch, and she's like all up in your face. hey, let's talk about your life. I would be so uncomfortable with that. I would be. It's just not maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know. Her generation.
It's weird.
I'd be like, you're in my dance space. Okay. This is my dance space and that's your dance space. And so you need to like get out of my dance space. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Well, and it's funny because Chris Wallace on his show, wherever it is that he has a show, was talking about with a panel about how often over the last couple of years, there have been articles or people in the media who have said Kamala is finding her voice because she's been such a colossal failure for the entire time, but they're always trying to sort of reignite her popularity by writing these articles where they say Kamala is finding her voice. And so the panel reacted to that.
Sure.
Yeah. You know, Eliana, I find it kind of ironic that the Biden campaign talks about her finding her voice, and they have said this repeatedly over these 4 years, because in these focus groups that we're talking about, one of the things that people objected to was her voice. They said they found her voice, especially her laugh, annoying.
Oh, dear.
You know, it is amusing, and I put in Google, Kamala Harris finds her voice. It's not just it's not just the Harris team that's saying this. When you Google that, you get several articles by reporters. It is the media that's saying this, and about once every 6 months, the media writes a story, Kamala Harris finds her voice, and usually it's on the abortion message. If she had a strong, consistent voice and was really finding a lot of success as vice president, we wouldn't read an article every 6 months.
Yes, because no one ever writes about women and their voices. No one ever writes about women smiling or being appealing.
Well, you know, I kind of anticipated this.
I'm sorry,
people
but
write about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his voice.
Not that much. Come on.
Oh,
and it's a particularly annoying voice, by the way. But that's besides the point. It's
precisely the point.
So
her voice is an issue.
She's got a problem with communicating. She sounds like a prosecutor. I would say that's probably she sounds like what she was for years.
Really?
I think the issue is she's also a woman. She's also a woman of color. And I'm not blaming blaming it on that necessarily, but she has got a lot of inbuilt things.
Chris, are you suggesting that women don't face a double standard in politics?
I'm just saying that I think the voice question with her is that she does have a voice that people find annoying, just like they do with Robert F. Kennedy. I think there are limits to how this double standard.
Well, you know,
it's not limited to women either. I think Ted Cruz struggled with the same thing.
Oh, well, Ted, you're going way down the line on him.
He's
Come
not
on.
likable.
Come on.
He's annoying.
Yeah, but Ted Cruz is not likable.
Yeah, that's it.
Neither is she. Neither is she.
All right, Jonah.
Yeah. She's not down Ted Cruz.
I understand. I mean, I take Kara's point. She's not going anywhere. If she just disappeared, would Biden be better off with another running mate?
Oh, I think it depends on the running mate, but yeah, I think so. I mean, look, I think this whole thing gets the causality backwards. Abortion is an issue that's good for Biden and for Harris, and it has coattails for them. She's not helping the abortion issue. The abortion issue is helping.
It's helping her.
I think Wallace was like, I don't know if I should have had these angry lesbians on my show because it's making it very difficult for me to make my point.
Yeah, he might have been having some regurts, as we say.
He really was. Like,
it's actually just her voice. She's just freaking annoying. That's
she's
the problem.
Stupid. She's also very stupid. You know, you can parade somebody out there for so long and make them appear. I mean, because because the chick with the short hair, you know, she was like, she talks like a prosecutor. No, she actually doesn't. She talks like a stupid person.
Mm-hmm.
And we could see it within 5 minutes of her being vice president. We were on to her. And then we were like, all right, it's time to make fun of her. She's an idiot.
She is unburdened by knowledge.
So unburdened. Yeah.
All right. We talked about the good polls, and the good polls come from CNN. Here is the story.
A poll, which was conducted by SSRS, finds Trump is leading Biden, who has ample work to do with his base and with independent voters who are breaking to his GOP rival. In a head-to-head race, 49% of voters say they'd pick Trump for president, compared to 43% for Biden. That's a 9-point Trump advantage with independent voters. And add in third-party candidates, and Trump's lead jumps even more. He has 42% to Biden's 33%, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. gets 16% of the vote. Our poll also underscores the challenges of incumbency, and that voters, 4 years later, have a better view of Trump's presidency compared to Biden's. 55% say Trump's time in office was a success, with only 39% saying the same about Biden's presidency.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that we all know what Trump can do because we've seen it. Yeah. It's not like he's a new dude coming in. We've seen his success, and now we've seen Biden's failure. And a lot of people are like, I want that success back.
Yeah, that success thing was awesome.
Like to have that back, please. But then I do worry about the Kennedy thing.
Well, it looked good in this poll. It looked fantastic. Kennedy was absolutely helping Trump.
Yeah, he was. But I still worry because of what you said before and what we were talking about before. I don't trust the polls, you guys. I don't. And people make me very nervous.
Well, and polls should never make people feel like they can stay home.
No,
that's the one thing that we all have power. Like that's the one tiny bit of power we all have. And so for the people that would actually just be like, I'm just not gonna, I'm not going to use the one piece of power that I have. I'm going to stay home because I don't like either. What's wrong with you?
And what's wrong with the 4% getting up and going and voting for Cornel West? Who are those people?
Right?
Who are they?
I don't get that at all. Do not get it. You guys, it's my turn to cook dinner tonight, and I will be cooking seafood as I usually do because
What are we making?
I don't know. I can't remember what I have left in my freezer because I've used up so much of my omahasteaks.com/chicks inventory. But I know I have something left. I think it may be snapper, which I love. Yum. Oh my God, the snapper is amazing. And I'm due to get my next subscription order. So if you have not subscribed at omahasteaks.com/chicks, it is a really, really good way to just lock in an extra 10% off of every order that you place. And when I'm talking subscription, you don't have to worry, oh my God, I'm going to get like more than I want, or I'm going to get it more often than I want, or I'm going to get stuff I don't want. This is what's so beautiful about omahasteaks.com/chicks subscription policy. You can You can choose the foods. You can change the foods. You can change the selections any old time you want. You can choose the amount. You can choose the frequency. You can change the frequency. You can pause the frequency altogether. It is 100% flexibility. And the bonus is that you get 10% extra off already, whatever the savings are. And every third shipment, they send you a free gift just to be like, hey, thanks for your subscription. We love you. And so you get the free gift. And then with every single subscription order, you also get 4 free steak burgers with every single subscription order. Like every time you get your box, you get free burgers. I don't know why anybody would not do this. Because like, even if you did it, you could say, well, I want to subscribe, twice a year. You can do that. That still counts as a subscription. So it's a fantastic way to get loaded up and get, make sure that you're always covered. You've always got everything that you want and need from omahasteaks.com/. Think about a subscription. Do it. Did I get no, I did not. Michael Steller, thank you. Michael says, if you want to torture someone, play the VP's laugh on a nonstop recording. That would be mean.
Yeah, we should do that to political prisoners.
That would be so mean. Andrea Viola, thank you. Andrea says, I don't know how she wants me to say that.
Kamala's mouth has been empty enough to laugh.
Kalamata's?
I think it's Kamala's.
Has been empty enough to laugh.
I think that may be a naughty joke.
Oh, okay. I'm not quite getting it, but still,
so. Maybe I'm overthinking that, and I'm just, my brain is in the wrong place. In which case, I'm mocked today.
Because sometimes I have trouble, you guys. I try really hard to understand all the comments, but sometimes I just don't. Okay, so we mentioned that Biden said on the Howard Stern show that he was going to debate. Here is that moment. It's just a 6-second clip just to get you set up for the debate about the debate. Because now there's debate about whether there will be a debate. And so we have all kinds of varying viewpoints, but here's what kicked it off this weekend as a topic of debate.
I don't know if you're going to debate your opponent.
I am somewhere. I don't know when. I'm happy to debate him.
I'm curious what everyone thinks if they're actually going to debate. I personally am waiting for KJP to issue the retraction from what President Biden said that he wants to debate. I don't think they're going to debate. What do you think, Joe?
I think he has to now because he's on the record saying he will debate. Do I think he's going to do the 3 presidential debates that we normally see in September, October? No, I say he waits till late October, well after early voting started. We saw John Fetterman use his strategy. And he'll go out there, because if he does not, he looks like a coward, and it reaffirms everything that we've been thinking about this president. Too old, doesn't have the mental acuity, and can't speak outside of a teleprompter, Nicole.
I agree with Joe completely.
Yeah.
The thing is that like I think he has to. The thing is that I don't think that when he went on Howard Stern that his staff was thinking he was going to say that. Because he was unscripted, he didn't have his teleprompter in front of him. I think that he was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to debate Trump. And his staff was like, he
said it. He put it out there.
Crap. Yeah. And now he has to do it. He has to do it because Conch is right. If he doesn't do it, he's going to look like a complete coward. And this is what we've always done.
But he's probably right, too, that there's going to just be one. It's not going to be the normal 3 and that it will be after the conventions, after early voting. I think he's probably right about that.
100%. I agree with him.
I don't know who this fellow is on the left of Blitzer. That's his name, right? Wolf Blitzer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Wolf.
That's Wolf. And SE Cup is on his right. So we'll hear from both of them. First, the gentleman on the left.
Jamal weigh in. Do you think the Biden campaign actually wants the president to debate Trump?
I think they probably think like I do, which is I'll believe it when I see it. Right? Donald Trump says he wants to debate, just like Donald Trump said he would testify. I'll believe it when he takes a stand. I'll believe it when he shows up at the theater. There is no evidence that Donald Trump will actually follow through on any of the things that he says. And one of the things I've seen in some of these debate negotiations way back in the 90s when I was a kid, I worked for a guy named Mickey Cantor, who was the chief debate negotiator for President Bill Clinton during the re-elect. And one of the things, is there's a lot of kabuki dance that's going on around debate negotiations, and nothing is sort of final until everything is final. We will see when they debate and if they debate.
How do you think Trump, SC, who do you think would have more to gain from a debate? Would it be Trump or Biden?
Definitely Donald Trump, and he knows that. I think he's banking on the fact that he will look more robust, more energetic, and he is not held to standards by his own voters, like standards like telling the truth, knowing stuff, having policies that, he's going to explain. They don't care about any of that. So he'll win with his crowd no matter what. And he knows Biden's voters have very high standards. They want to ask questions about policy, Gaza, what he would do in XYZ situation. So I think Trump is probably right that it benefits him. That's why he's been pushing this for a very long time. And actually, I think he's outplayed Biden a bit. He's going to say, okay, great, I'm ready to go tonight, Monday, Tuesday. You heard him say that. When Biden says, no, we'll probably do it as scheduled after the conventions, Trump's going to say, look, he's scared, he's unprepared, I'm ready to go now. I think Trump has the upper hand here.
Wasn't she a Republican at one time?
Remember?
Yeah, a long time ago. She's best friends with Meghan McCain too. Just everybody keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just putting that. I mean, you just take that for what it is. I'm just putting that out there. That's all.
So, I mean, lots and lots of varied opinions. And here's another, Hugh Hewitt. Here's what he has to say about the potential of debate.
The trouble would be the president is infirm. Joe Biden is physically infirm, and I don't think he's going to debate. I think they're afraid of that. He somehow got through the White House Correspondents Dinner last night, but I don't think he can make it through a debate. Finding a moderator that both sides would trust. I mean, really, a fair and unbiased moderator will be tough. You might have to let each team pick one with a veto on the other side. But I'll tell you, Congressman, I cannot imagine President Biden agreeing to debate President Trump because President Trump's got more energy than 10 Joe Bidens. He's got more charisma and more star power. And therefore, I just don't see it happening. Team Biden.
Yeah, he's infirm. That's my favorite. I mean, at the White House Correspondents Dinner, he was having an actual battle with his food, you guys. If you watched him, he was like, is nobody going to feed me? Like, I have to do this myself?
This doesn't look like pudding.
Uncomfortable to watch. Like yeah, it was bad.
Oh my gosh. All right. Andrea, thank you. Andrea says, I have no respect for heels up Harris. Ina Richards, thank you. She says, curious about Trump's VP pick. Will he announce? Yeah, I'm very curious. And I don't know when that's going to happen. And Jamie Hill, thank you. Jamie says, Cup is a moron. Indeed. Indeed, she is. And that leads us right to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So let's get to some fun stuff about it first, because actually the whole thing is pretty fun to chat about. Because first of all, John Fetterman, did you see what he wore?
I did not. I'm dying to see what he wore.
Okay, so Jimmy Fallon actually took a selfie with John Fetterman. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Somebody said they lost sound, and I felt like maybe I did in my ear for a second. Okay, good.
Yeah. Why is everybody saying no sound? It's so.
I don't know.
Did you lose sound? Yeah, I hear you just fine.
Okay. All right, good. So Jimmy Fallon posted this photo of himself and John Fetterman, and John Fetterman, of course, this is like a formal, right? Like this is what people wear, the tuxes and gowns. Here's what Fetterman wore.
Oh my God. The sweat. It's a Carhartt, y'all. It's a Carhartt hoodie with a tux thing on it.
Oh my God. He's even got the red. I can't tell if that's like a rose or a handkerchief or what that's supposed to be.
Looks like a rose. Looks like a rose. Yeah. You got to hand it to the guy. He's consistent. I mean, he really is consistent. Wow. Okay.
Oh my God. That cracked me up. All right. And then what was also hilarious is that George Santos decided to do like running commentary of the red carpet on Twitter. Oh my God, you guys. So here, we just have a few because this went on and on and on. But here are some highlights. So the first person that he reviewed was Kristen Welker. And he said, did someone say pink? I struggled with this one, but I established that it was a fail. Miss Thang here needed to have less, and she went for more. Sorry, not sorry, Kristen Welker. You clearly don't use less is more in your life.
So this is what he was doing.
This is what he was doing.
Like running commentary. He was being, he was trying to be Joan Rivers is what he was trying to do.
Totally.
Yeah. I don't think he's Joan Rivers, but okay. Alyssa Farah. Okay,
Alyssa Farah. He said, I mean, not the type of structure we mean when we ask you to be more structured, girl. The dress is simply not made for you. I don't want to knock the dress because it's redeemable. You just didn't understand the assignment.
I hate that dress.
I hate it too. It's awful. Look, she looks like a peacock.
Yeah, exactly. It's she's a bird.
So he wasn't finished. Let's see. Who else did he criticize? Sunny. He gave her best dress last year, but he said that she came in and bombed with this absolutely terrible look. It's like she tripped in a time machine and took this dress from an old Spice Girls your closet. I had big expectations for Sunny. He said,
I don't hate that dress. I honestly don't hate that dress.
I hate it only because it just looks like somebody took red tape and just wrapped her in
it around her. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not.
How did she breathe?
Horribly objectionable. But, you know, just the person in it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's a lot. I mean, she wanted every last bit of her covered. So she did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Kennedy, who actually won Best Dressed by like a bunch of different places, including the Daily Mail.
Really?
They thought that this was Best Dressed. George Santos did not. He said, moving on, another big no was this overly tacky look. I'm not sure what Kennedy was thinking or if she was thinking at all, but I would take this dress back to the gravel pit and shoot it dead.
No, no. It's like the cover of the Preppy Handbook of 1983. I'm not a fan. What?
It's a lot.
What is happening?
Just don't.
It's like Christmas threw up all over her. I'm not a fan. She got Best Dressed.
Yeah. And I guess a couple of different places.
I like Kennedy, and she's sort of out there, you know. She's quirky.
Wild.
She's quirky. Wears the quirky things, and yeah, she's kind of edgy. So you kind of expect her to be, well, who she is, kind of quirky. But I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have. No, I would not have. No. Is basically what I mean to say about that. Yeah. Before we get to some video from White House Correspondents Dinner, and there's a bunch of clips, because I have to say, is it Jost or Jost? How do you pronounce Colin's last name?
I thought it was Jost. Is it
Jost?
Does it matter? He's the guy that's married to Scarlett Johansson. That's the reason that he's popular at this point, right?
Yes. Well, also he and Michael Che do a hilarious bit on SNL.
They do.
Thing.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty funny there.
He's pretty funny
in that one bit,
and he did have some very funny moments from the White House Correspondent. Yeah, he did. I thought so. I thought they were funny. We'll play a couple, and then people.
I watched a bunch of them, and I didn't think he was that funny at all.
I thought he was funny when he made fun of Biden. That's when he was hilarious.
Yeah.
What the Trump stuff was kind of not.
Yeah.
It was just so predictable.
Predictable.
Yeah, but some of the Biden stuff I thought was good. And we'll get to that and so much more from White House Correspondents Dinner. But first, I want to remind everybody to visit 4patriots.com/chicks. If you haven't gotten the deluxe 3-month survival food kit yet, this, I can't tell you, like it just arrives and then you have it and you're like, there's just a peace of mind that you get when you know you have emergency food. Like emergency food that is going to last and store for up to 25 years. So this, by the way, the 3-month kit was sold out for like well over a year. And now it is back. It is better than ever. They've included super exclusive recipes that they say they're so yummy that you will swear that your grandma made them. That's how they describe some of the food in the 3-month kit, right? So there are 688 total servings per kit. That's about 7.9 per day. And there's all kinds of delicious recipes: pancakes, mac and cheese, chili, potato soup, spaghetti, lasagna. It's not like MREs, okay? It's not, don't think it's like military ready to eat. It's not. So it's completely different. The food is actually delicious, and you can save big right now at 4patriots.com, 4patriots.com/chicks. So get free shipping, by the way, too, on any order over $97. It is the number 4patriots.com/chicks. All right, let's get to some of the attendees. Well, actually just one attendee in particular, and that is Molly Ringwald, the reason for my name today. I had forgotten completely that she existed, and yet she got invited, and here she is to talk about why she's there.
What are you doing here this evening?
I was invited. It's an evening that I've often, watched on television, and something I always enjoy. And I'm just really excited to be here to, have fun and also to support journalists. And I think it's a really hard job, what journalists do. Yeah, I mean, it is. And I feel like journalists need to be protected and supported. So I'm here in support of them.
First of all, what has she done to her face? Like,
She's
what
done
is
some
that?
things.
She's done
like
some
her
things
lip
to
is
her.
lopsided now.
Yeah,
and
she's done.
She's kind of a mess.
She's done. John Hughes would be like, "Who are you?" Yeah, and then by supporting journalists, is she talking about like coddling them and fawning all over them at a really fancy dinner?
Pretty much.
You know what I mean? That's supporting them. Okay, all right, because these people are so out of touch.
Oh
And
my God.
journalism is dead. I mean, most of us know that, right? And when you watch this stuff, you're just kind of like, the rest of all of us real people out here are just looking at this and we want to give them the giant middle finger. Don't we? Is it just me? Is it just me?
It's definitely not just you.
Okay.
Apparently KJP has a new girlfriend, and this is her. So the still that you see on your screen right now, that is her new love interest. And people caught sight of this particular clip, namely because the date, KJP's date, was geeking out over the food and taking pictures of it, ostensibly for the gram. But you can see her grab her phone and take a picture of literally a leafy salad. And they're not talking.
Oh my God, take a picture of the salad. I gotta take a picture of the salad. It's like I have many things. I have so many things I want to say right now. I'm not gonna say it. I can't say any of the things I want to say. I can't.
All right. Well, it didn't look like they were particularly happy together. And if this is a new love interest, which I would think it is, I mean, they can't have been dating more than a few months at this point, right? She only just got divorced.
She probably just like found her outside and she was like, "You want to come with me?"
Like she was ignoring her completely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
that's probably why she got divorced from the first one. Uh-huh.
So there was, I don't know if this was an opening act, but there was an impersonator that was trying to impersonate Trump, Bernie, Obama, like all kinds of people.
But why?
I don't think his Bernie was terrible. I mean, obviously doesn't hold a candle to you.
I know. They don't ever invite me to this thing.
But he was kind of bombing. Like because he's in the middle of the crowd. And if you watch this, we'll watch it all the way through just so you can hear the voices. But he's not getting a very warm response, I didn't think. In fact, you could tell that he was struggling when he was even like, "Oh, the tough crowd," or whatever it is that he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he starts off with Trump, and then you'll hear the other voices.
Tonight, your answer. Well, I will tell you, it is really a tremendous opportunity to be at the most failed dinner anybody's ever seen. Great to see you losers. A lot of people say that. Hello, everybody. Why is it so quiet? What's happening? It's quiet.
And he's good.
Joe. Hello, Joe. How are you? Great to see you. We're going to debate, right? That's what they're saying. There's a lot of stars here. There's a lot of great people. There's Scarlett Johannesburg. Scarlett is here from Black Widow. I love the blacks. I really love the blacks. It's true. You have a lot of people that could potentially be a vice president. You have Lara Trump, who's a lot better than Ronna McDonald. Who doesn't love Ronna McDonald, right? I'm loving it. You like a Happy Meal, right? You like that? But I will tell you, this dinner, you're so tight. It's so uptight, right? This dinner is sadder than Taylor Swift's new album, The Tortured President's Department, right? Look at him, the white tuxedo. He doesn't like me too much, right? But I will tell you, the Chinese apps are being banned. It's horrible. We have to post our David Peckers on Snapchat now. That's what they're saying. Let's face it, folks. I'm on fire right now like the guy outside the courthouse, right? Not soon enough. Not soon enough. But I will tell you, I am killing this dinner harder than Kristi Noem kills the puppies. Moving on, please. Even Bernie has something to say. Mr. Trump, you have no idea what the ordinary experiences everyday Americans are. I am
sounds exactly
concerned
like him.
with battling the ruthless dictators like Vladimir Putin. Can we all agree on that? Can we all agree? Even Mitch would agree with that right now. Mitch? Well, let me begin by stating what a privilege it is to be at this dinner celebrating ordinary Americans and African Americans. Scooby-Doo, let me toss it to Barack to close it out. Everybody in D.C., you've been a lot of fun. And I have to close it out by saying, when I was on the campaign trail in 2008, I led a chant with the crowd, and I would say, you're fired up. The crowd would say, I'm ready to go. So you have a long show. Are you fired up? You fired up? I'm ready to go. Good night, guys. Back to Kelly. Thank you so much. Good night. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
I mean, I think he was better than
making an impression.
He's better than Colin. I thought he was better than Colin. I think the crowd was so freaking uptight. He's not wrong. Everybody's just like, uptight.
They were not kind to him.
They
just,
weren't.
Yikes.
I know.
Tough crowd, man.
I think they're all just bunged up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, loosen up, people. Everybody loosen up. Remember, who's the guy? Rich Little. He's the one that used to do impressions.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love that guy. Whatever happened to him? Remember
He was
him?
good. He was really, really good.
People that can do that.
Is he alive? We need to check. Now you're like making me worry.
I mean, no, but people that can do that, he's
85.
Oh my gosh, he's still doing it. The guy is
He's
still
doing the
rocking.
things.
Look
yeah,
at him
he's
go.
85. Look at that.
This is the thing. People that can do that, that's kind of a talent. It's
it's a huge talent for sure.
Talent. They're so uptight. Like, God, you're there. I think they're all like in too tight dresses. They need to get it.
Well, Biden obviously had his moment to give his teleprompted jokes. And I'm trying to think of if there was anything in particular that I wanted to point out to you guys about this. Not really. I mean, it was fine, I guess, as fine as Biden can do. Here's a little taste.
Yeah.
Right. Here's a little taste.
24 elections in full swing. And yes, age is an issue. I'm a grown man running against a 6-year-old. Well, I feel great. I really feel great. I'm campaigning all over the country. Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina. I've always done well in the original 13 colonies.
This just isn't funny.
And speaking of history, did you hear what Donald just said about the major Civil War battle? Quote, Gettysburg, wow. Trump's speech was so embarrassing, the statue of Robert E. Lee surrendered again. But look, age is the only thing we have in common. My vice president actually endorses me.
Okay, that was not a bad zinger at the end. But yikes.
But yeah, yikes is right.
Yikes.
Mhm.
All right, let's hear a couple little clips. I'll just let them run together. These are 3 very short clips from Colin, Jost or however he says his name.
Jost.
We
had a Jost in here that said it was Jost.
Okay. All right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I thought that I thought this was pretty good. But I like him. I think it's just from the SNL stuff. I do like his news stuff with Michael Che. I like it when they crack up at each other. I think that's what I like about
Together. I
that
like
segment.
them, but in this setting, I thought he was horrible.
Really? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, anyway, we'll play these 3 clips and you'll see.
It's also wonderful to be back in Washington. I love being in Washington. The last time I was in D.C., I left my cocaine at the White House. Luckily, the president was able to put it to good use for his State of the Union. I'm kidding, of course. The president doesn't call it cocaine. He calls it high-speed rail.
was that KJP?
By the way, can you blame the guy for turning to cocaine? He must be exhausted, orchestrating 4 separate trials against his rival, rigging the Super Bowl, and gearing up to steal a second election. Wow.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
Also, it's not like Trump himself is young and sharp. I'm not saying both candidates are old, but you know Jimmy Carter is out there thinking, I could maybe win this thing. He's only 99. Like many of you here tonight, I pretend to do news on TV.
Okay, that's funny. That actually is funny.
My weekend update co-anchor, Michael Che, was going to join me here tonight, but in solidarity with President Biden, I decided to lose all my black support.
That was my favorite.
Okay. I'll give him the last 2. The last 2 were okay.
Yeah, those were my favorite.
But like he droned on and on about like Trump stuff. And like there was one part, I don't know, there's one part where he said that Democrats say they're underwhelmed, but I think they're just not living in reality. Manage your expectations, people. Like he went on a rant about that. I mean, he was talking about how, you know, everything is great. He's like, people keep asking if our lives are better than they were 4 years ago. And of course they are. He said that at one point. And I was like, dude, get a grip, which shows you exactly who he is.
Yeah.
You know, he's a guy who's married to a woman who makes more than any other woman in the whole United States. I mean, that woman, they live in an alternate universe. Everybody in that room does. And so he can make the jokes and we can go, ha, it's funny. But remember who those people are. And like I said earlier, the celebrities are the only people that Biden can count on to get him across that goal line, because everybody else, we hate him.
Yeah.
It's like, because look what he's done to the country. We live in the real world.
Celebrities and OnlyFans girls, which you'll see proof of in just a little bit. But before we get to that, this is a flashback from 2014 when Biden was vice president and Joel McHale was doing the stand-up bit at the White House Correspondents Dinner, ripping on Biden back then.
When he wasn't there.
A decade ago.
Yeah.
The vice president isn't here tonight, not for security reasons. He just thought this event was being held at the Dulles Airport Applebee's. Yes, right now, Joe is elbow deep in jalapeno poppers and talking to a construction cone he thinks is John Boehner.
And Obama's
also true.
It.
It's crazy to think that Joe Biden is only one heartbeat away from no one taking him seriously as president. Sorry for that one.
Yeah. And you know, Obama's just sitting there going, yeah, we're totally going to use him at some point as a puppet, you know, for my 3rd term.
Oh my God.
Which is precisely what's happening.
I mean, he's been old and dumb, like
Forever.
enough such that comedians have been making fun of him since before 2014.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Forever.
Ina Richards, thank you. She says, neither the White House or the president has said anything about the tornadoes. Yeah, there were some bad tornadoes in Oklahoma, I think it was. Oh,
Oklahoma,
my
yeah.
God. Yikes. Well, and of course, Biden hasn't even said anything about the campus stuff yet. So I'm not surprised.
Why would he? He was very busy with the dinner this weekend, you guys.
Yeah.
Very
and
busy.
That dinner, by the way, all the people that were walking the red carpet had to go through the gauntlet of crazy pro-terrorist supporters. Here's a little bit of what that was like.
They're eating their own.
Interesting, right?
I love it when they start eating their own. I mean, it's great.
And by the way, California has banned the sale of new gas-powered vehicles after 2035, as we know. Here's what their charging stations currently look like.
My God.
I thought this was so interesting. You find me a way that a car can park right there and plug in.
It's just unbelievable. What, California, what are you doing?
I know. It's amazing, right? And UCLA also having a really hard time with the protesters. There's a lot of, it is mayhem down there, and they're not doing anything about it. And this fellow decided to take a walk to UCLA to report back on what these protests look like. And he gave a very interesting list of takeaways. First of all, most of them, he said, openly support Hamas. They say that October 7th did not happen.
My God.
And they're even saying that the New York Times debunked it. These people are out of their minds.
Lunatics.
If they do believe it, they're saying it was justified because it counts as resistance.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is what I've heard too. Mm-hmm.
100% of the people that David spoke to had the exact same narrative and MO, trying to recenter the conversation to 1948 without knowing a single thing about any of the details when challenged. They have their own security teams, and they control who can access the encampments, which is totally illegal.
And the security, how? Like, this stuff is so funded. It's crazy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Follow the money, right?
He said whenever they would try to have conversations with these folks and would remain calm, the protesters would get very, very agitated and angry and aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you approach somebody who was clearly junior to some of the band leaders, their handlers would show up very, very quickly to take over. And then they all have this standard response where they say, read our 5 demands to divest. Now I'm going to stop talking to you.
Yeah, this is because it's so freaking organized.
Mm-hmm.
And funded, and it's just, I mean, you guys, not okay. None of this is okay.
It's vile. Then back at the White House Correspondents Dinner, they decided to do an acting out of an IDF execution. This was so vile. I cannot believe the kind of crap that these protesters do. So gross.
That's all fucking of us! You Palestinians fucking suck! You all deserve to fucking live!
And it gets worse. Like they actually act out a full-on execution. They show them on the ground.
Blue powder on them of some sort. And that's, all these dudes are vegan. They have to be. You see the dudes? You know they're vegan.
It's just so gross.
They're all lacking major B12, and then it's ridiculous. It's just,
look at this. The press. I mean, come on. These people are just
and why didn't they all have their masks on there? I don't understand. They have their masks on in certain places, and then other places they don't. I have questions.
Lots and lots of questions. And the campuses all over the country, the protests rage on. Now at Virginia Tech, they're actually bringing itty bitty kids to participate. So if you weren't already disturbed enough, you're about to be even more disturbed.
What do we do? When Yemen is under attack, what do we do? Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Gross.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Isn't that just the saddest thing?
Absolutely disgusting. I don't know if you have it or not, because we didn't get to this in pre-show, but did you see at Harvard, they were all just like praying. They had just a bunch of students out there. I have it on our Instagram page at Chicks on Right if you guys want to see it. But it's like they're just out there. It's like, can you imagine if it were just like this giant Christian takeover at Harvard or at any of these Ivies? They would be losing their minds. But it's just like mass prayer. Like they're converting these kids to Islam.
Oh my God.
Right there on campus. It is a lot of kids. It's just like a sea of kids just on their knees praying on the ground.
Well, and Harvard pulled down the American flag and replaced it with a Palestinian flag. And Harvard is just allowing this to go on.
Yeah, it's totally fine. Like that's okay. That's what's happening on these campuses, and they're okay with it. I mean, You guys, it's to me, it's foreshadowing of stuff to come. I don't know what else is there to say about it. You can't. It's not okay. It's just not okay. And it's recruiting too. You can't think that it's not. So
well, and then when they start bringing the little kids into it, that's
gross.
Just, I mean, just your heart breaks over that shit.
Brainwashing.
It's so nasty. And then Ilhan Omar at Columbia she was getting some heat for this, not enough in my view, but she was basically categorizing Israelis as either being anti-genocide or pro-genocide. Like,
okay.
What does that even mean? It doesn't even, she's just so awful.
Yeah,
but here she is, and this is just vile.
I think this will translate to the Jewish students who are facing anti-Semitism here on campus.
So I actually met a lot of Jewish students that are in the encampment. And I think it is really unfortunate that people don't care about the fact that all Jewish kids should be kept safe and that we should not have to tolerate anti-Semitism or bigotry for all Jewish students, whether they are pro-genocide or anti-genocide.
What in the hell is she talking about? Oh my God. That woman.
Oh my God. She's insane.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. Bill Maher, obviously, especially when it comes to matters related to Islam, he's always been on the right side of the issue. Mm-hmm. And he had Professor Scott Galloway on his show. They both had very interesting things to say about all of this. We'll start with Bill Maher.
North Korea starves its people. China puts them in concentration camps. Myanmar brutalizes the Rohingya. Boko Haram kidnaps whole villages of women.
Yep.
Nothing? Ukraine? Maybe if these Google employees had the slightest idea what kind of fundamentalist, oppressive they're supporting, Hamas, the Houthis, Hezbollah, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard, they might take it a little easier on the world's greatest monster, Genocide Joe. Genocide, by the way, is when you want to wipe out an entire people. That's the stated goal of Hamas. That's what from the river to the sea means. Hamas would do that to Israel, but can't. Israel could do that to them, but doesn't.
Bingo.
Yeah.
I loved how he said that.
You can't say it any better than that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Professor Galloway, man, he's been everywhere lately. And so he also had some stuff to say about the protesters.
Faculty, if we made the mistake of hiring you and you want to support Islamic Jihad or the Islamic Republic, then you know what? We made a mistake and we should rectify that mistake. That we pay these people. And if they are not taking the temperature down and they lack the critical thinking that they can't criticize a murderous autocracy, pretty simple, they should be fired.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to poke fun at these kids, but history has a way of repeating itself. Yeah. And this is how it starts. In 30s Germany, a progressive community, a thriving gay community, excellent academic institutions, and how it started was, it was fashionable to wear a brown shirt and mock students at the University of Vienna. This is how it stops. And quite frankly, I'm really disappointed more Jews aren't speaking out.
Yeah. Where are the celebrity Jews? Where are they? They're just quiet because they don't want to, rock the boat. So shame on them for not speaking out at things like.
Some of them are, like Michael Rappaport, who's a total psychopath. He's speaking out.
Yeah,
thankfully.
but he's one.
I know.
I mean, there are a lot of Jewish people in Hollywood, Mock, a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And they're silent, and you're not seeing them at the Grammys and the Oscars, like wearing all the stuff and speaking out on stage. And they should be, shame on them for not doing that. They should be doing that.
This was, this cop went viral because he was not having it with this protester who refused to walk. And you've seen this a lot. This is obviously part of their rule book. When you're arrested, just lay down and make it super difficult to be carried away. This cop was like, nope, I don't care if you don't want to walk. You're coming with me.
You're hurting me. You're hurting me. Ow! 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 Ow!
What a baby.
I love this guy.
The child. That is a toddler right there. Treat him like a toddler. Good for him. Good for that cop. Seriously. They're toddlers. Great. Treat them how they want to be treated.
Oh my God. So great. All right. So we haven't talked about Ukraine in a while, and we need to talk about Ukraine for just a moment. And retired General Keane, who often appears on Fox News, was talking to, I can't remember the name of this host, but on Fox News, he was talking about how inappropriate it is for Joe Biden to be telling Ukraine how to fight Russia. And it was interesting because there's part of me that's like, well, if we're the one that's supplying them with all of their arms, all of the weaponry, all the money, all this, we're paying their pensions. I don't know. Do we have some say in how they do their operations? Perhaps. But he's saying it's entirely inappropriate. Here he is.
In recent weeks that the United States has advised Ukraine, do not hit Russia proper, especially oil refineries. Now, this isn't Crimea, which is disputed territory. I'm talking about actually Russia proper. Is that a good, should the United States be telling Ukraine, don't attack Russia, even as Russia attacks Ukraine?
Yeah, this is unprecedented warfare. I don't have a frame of reference for it, frankly. For a country that has been invaded by another one and restricting that country from attacking the very place that the forces came from. That makes no sense. Ukrainians have been attacking, obviously using their own drone capability, but the United States has restricted the use of our capability that we're providing them, long-range missiles and eventually, hopefully, F-16s, and restricted them from attacking into Russia. And when they use their own systems to attack oil refineries, we've told them not to do that again. That makes no sense. Listen, the facts are on the table. Russia is not escalating because of advanced weapon systems. The other thought is, does the United States, are we actually telling them not to do that because of the oil price issue that could result from that? I mean, hopefully that's not behind the reasoning here. But it makes no sense. We got to stop meddling with Ukraine and how it fights a war, and also with Israel and how it fights a war. I've never seen mostly civilian policymakers who get involved in the details of warfighting, not knowing much about it themselves and not recognizing the consequences of what they're saying, but nonetheless absolutely determined to meddle and interfere with the conduct and execution of operations.
I love this. Like, let's not meddle, but then let's give them all the money to basically fund the freaking war. Okay, pick a lane. Seriously, pick a freaking lane with this. So don't give them any money. Don't give them any money at all, because when you give money, same thing goes with all these schools. When Qatar gives gigantic sums of money to these universities, they have a say in how the universities are run. They have a say. It happens with everything. You give money to somebody, you in essence own a part of that person. Mm-hmm. If we give money to these countries, we're going to have a say in how the war is done. I mean, so pick a lane, dude. It's like, we just need to not give money to these countries and then we're out of it. How's that? This is not brain surgery. We don't even have the money to begin with. So, I
do think it's right that he's saying it's like civilian, essentially lobbyists who are calling the shots in war, which is inappropriate in both Ukraine and Israel. And I think that he's right about that.
It's totally inappropriate. We should just not have a say at all and then not give them money. We don't have the money to begin with. So do it all. Like, take it all away. I don't think that we should have a say in it either. It's their freaking war. Let them fight it.
Well, and speaking of Qatar, it's interesting that you brought that up. Look at this little tidbit. So Politico is actually reporting that Biden's brother was in business with the Qatari government officials. Yeah, surprise is right. And that seems to make a lot of sense then when you think about the fact that Biden refuses to name Qatar as a state sponsor of terrorism, which they are, because Hamas freaking lives there. Mm-hmm. So the leaders of Hamas live there and they're giving them cover. So this was an interesting little story, especially considering that it was coming out of Politico.
Gross.
Right?
Isn't that gross?
Yeah. And then the fact that General Keane was like, I hope this doesn't have to do with the price of oil. And he's like, I hope that isn't it. Do you really put that past the Biden administration? Come on.
Right. I mean, it's like, give me a break.
And that's why Charlie Kirk had also tweeted this out a few days ago. This was like a week ago. He was talking about the politics of Ukraine money and that no one in DC actually believes that Ukraine can win with the $60 billion that just got, sent over to them. It'll be a bottomless pit.
Yeah.
He said there is real concern that Ukraine will collapse and that Kyiv could fall by Labor Day, which would trigger a major political crisis for Biden right before the election. And so this new pile of cash, Charlie says, is only meant to hold off Putin just long enough so that he can get carried through the election, and then things will fall apart. So I don't like that, but yikes.
So basically all of our money is just being given in vain.
Feels like it.
Of course, it's a giant effing waste. It's a waste. Meanwhile, our country's falling apart. Our cities are falling apart. There are veterans that are in need. There are children that are in need. I mean, there are mentally ill people here that are in need. And we're just ignoring them. We've got illegals pouring over the border. Our border needs secure. Our country is on fire. And people in our government are just like, screw it. We're going to go ahead and just give all this money to Ukraine. And when I say people in our government, I'm talking people on our side of the aisle too. Shame on all of them. Shame on every single one of them who thinks that this 60 billion, in addition to the other 100 and whatever billion we've given this country, giving it to them is a good idea. It's not a good idea. Shame on all of them.
Well, JD Vance has been very outspoken about this, and he was asked recently about the Democrat or the pro, sending money to Ukraine side of the argument. There, a lot of the times you'll hear them say, well, it's not going to stop in Ukraine. Russia's going to invade Poland next, and then he's just going to keep marching across Europe. And so JD Vance does not agree with that assessment at all. And he explained to, I think it's Shannon Bream, why he...
Sure. So I understand this argument, Shannon, but unfortunately, I don't think it really passes muster. So people who want us to put limitless resources into Ukraine, they want us to believe two things at once. On the one hand, they want us to believe the Ukrainians are on the verge of victory in the far eastern part of Ukraine. On the other hand, they want us to believe that Vladimir Putin is about to march all the way to Paris. Mm-hmm. You can't believe both of those things at the same time. And the reality is the Ukrainians have showed that Putin is a lot weaker than people feared. And importantly, they've shown that if the Europeans are willing to step up and take more responsibility for their own defense, they can handle Putin. Let us focus on China.
Yeah. Right. When is their turn to step up?
Yeah.
Why is it always us?
It's always us.
And it shouldn't be. We don't have the resources. We're done. We don't have the infrastructure at this point to be able to do that. And we definitely don't, it's not economically feasible for us to be able to do that anymore. We just can't do it. We're not the powerhouse anymore that people think that we are. And we don't have the money. We're broke.
Judy Flackney, thank you. Judy says they need to watch Schindler's List. Good luck getting any of these psychopaths to watch that movie. Andrea, thank you. Andrea says these kids protesting do not understand if these Hamas-Palestine sympathizers take over, they will find out what real oppression looks like. I know, they're ignorant assholes. These are the most useful of useful idiots that I've ever seen. All the people that are protesting right now. Laura Kate Baker, thank you. Laura says the protesters are following Hamas by using and hiding behind children. Yeah, they've got their marching orders all right.
There's so many of them, though, you guys.
I know. And there's so many of them that are not even students at this point, that are they're the paid operatives going and doing all the stuff they can.
I'm shocked by the amount of people that are so anti-Semitic and gross. And I mean, dare I say, uneducated and just all for, yay, terrorism on social media. It's a cancer, and it's terrifying how many of them are out there.
Teresa, thank you. Teresa says many of those mentally ill people are in the House, Senate, and the administration. Mm-hmm. That's true.
Yep.
All right. We have to talk about Kristi Noem, because Kristi, of course, she has a book coming out, and in the book, she describes an incident with a puppy that she hated. And if you are a person who can say out loud, I hate this puppy, like what
or
is
hate
even wrong with you?
Or hate any puppies?
So she killed this dog. She killed the dog. She tells the story, and she's trying to paint it. She's trying to spin it as like, oh, this is ranch life.
I live on a ranch.
No.
I live on a ranch, and I can't imagine killing a puppy.
Well, people are suggesting that now her odds of being Trump's pick for VP are donezo.
Yeah. What a disappointment. Total disappointment.
Seriously.
To me. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen, it started with the ads.
Yeah,
when
that's
she
when
started.
I was done with her.
Yeah,
as soon as the first ad came out, I was like,
"Bye,
go." Yeah. This is weird. And her face, like, stop putting all the things in there.
Like when she started having a midlife crisis and started like injecting all the things, and then she did the tooth ads, and I'm like, "What are we doing? What are we doing here? What?"
Yeah.
And now the puppy thing. Okay. You went full Mitt Romney. Did you have to go full Mitt Romney?
She went past Mitt Romney, man.
She
went.
Yeah, it's just bad.
This was bizarre. And it's the one thing that has actually united Republicans and Democrats alike. You don't mess with people's love for dogs.
No.
Now, she tried because she saw the reaction was brutal. So she puts out this statement where she's like, I understand that people are upset about Cricket. And what I learned is that people are looking for leaders who are authentic and willing to learn from the past. I hope that people understand I always make the best decisions I can, blah, blah, blah. But South Dakota law states that dogs who attack and kill livestock can be put down. Given that Cricket had shown aggressive behavior towards people by biting them, I decided what I did. That's not how she explained it in the book, though. And that's the problem, right? Is that this is some spin. She's trying to like downplay how she talked about how much she hated the dog. And now people are responding. Like, so when she put this tweet out, you know, lots of people were like, you have brought, this is Janice Dean, God love her. You've brought both Republicans and Democrats together in their horror of this story. Congrats.
Right.
I mean, people were not. Jenna Ellis, stop trying to justify shooting a puppy in the face, psychopath.
I just can't imagine. I can't.
Oh my God.
And a puppy, like a puppy showing aggressive behavior. What a 14. I don't get that. Like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is just bad.
Yeah.
People were just like, there's no coming back from this. You can say what you're going to say, but if you're explaining, you're losing and the spin is not working.
Robbie Starbuck is right. It's some of the farm and dogs. You don't need to shoot a 14-month-old puppy for bad behavior. You train them. I mean, I've got a dog who's a ranch dog too. He's a little crazy. You just work with you work with the crazy dogs. You know what I mean? Like I just cannot imagine.
Yeah. This is bad. She's not going to recover from this.
And why would you and I guess part of my line of thinking is, why would you share that out loud if you did it? If you really were that person that shot a puppy in the face, you know what I mean? Why would you put that in a book?
Like, was she thinking that was somehow going to give her, I don't know, like some tough street cred in some way?
I don't know. Like, if you think that that's going to endear people to you, because what is your thought process?
I don't get it. Do not get.
Don't get it either. Because yeah, you definitely read the room wrong, lady.
Speaking of women who often read the room wrong, Governor Gretchen Whitmer. She decided to make an appearance at the NFL draft, and she got booed.
And then we go to the stage for the announcement of the Lions Cup.
Oh my God.
All right, Detroit, let's hear it.
They hate her.
Oh my God. I was like, go make a casserole. Go do it. Go back. Yeah, they just don't like her. How? How did she get elected?
I don't know. I cannot imagine.
Hated people get elected into office again and again.
Oh my God.
She's
I've forgotten about her, though. She's been pretty quiet, at least
God.
In national news. I haven't heard about her much. But yeah, she's awful.
Like this psycho pageant queen you see in a Lifetime movie. You know what I mean? It's like joy, joy, joy. She's one of those.
Totally is
awful.
Trinoculus P. Thank you. Trinoculus says Governor Abbott joined Mike Johnson to rescue Tony Gonzalez in San Antonio. Texans need to tell Abbott their opinions. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Earlier, I mentioned that there was an OnlyFans TikTok influencer star who was paid to basically spread propaganda about Biden. And she did. And here she is talking about
TikTok like the spring semester of my senior year. And I was like, fuck, I finally have to start applying for law school. And then like, you know, female privilege, life is so easy for a, woman. Obviously, I lucked out. I'm just kidding. I lucked out. And then, TikTok was basically full time for me. I think I was taking ads by the time I graduated college from like the Biden administration and Planned Parenthood and like dating apps and stuff. So it was like fully financially, sustaining.
So you were getting the Biden administration was buying ads from you?
Yeah, I was doing full on political propaganda.
And they would just, really? With what kind of like Biden created 10 million jobs this year.
Honestly. And the funny thing is they're like, do not disclose this is an ad because, they're like, technically it's not a product. So you don't have to disclose it's an ad. Because I think they just wanted like some edgy girl of color to just tell people, like, when they nominated like Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're like, can you say, like, as a person of color, you know, that you feel reflected? And it's
can you even?
Wow. Yeah. It's propaganda. It's exactly what it is. It's propaganda. The fact that she's saying it out loud now, I mean, it's like, you better watch your back, girl.
God.
Yeah.
I mean, she's essentially admitted, well, who knows? I'm sure she's a Biden supporter, but the fact that she was essentially admitting I would say things and not disclose that I'm being paid to say them.
Right. It's sad that she would be a Biden supporter after that. How can you go to the polls and vote for a guy that basically said to you, you have to, this is propaganda, like do propaganda for me in the United States of America. Gross. That is so gross.
Yeah.
I mean, gross. Can you not see? Can you not? Okay.
We have DD and we also have a schlong about Sandra Dorley, the Monroe County, New York DA who did not stop for a traffic stop, which is amazing. We have amazing video to show you from that. Mm-hmm. And even more amazing is that she is a follower of ours. And I'm freaking out about that. Freaking out. And so we have to talk about that. What would you like to do first?
We could just quickly do my DD. I feel like at like 2 a.m. this morning, so I was up at 2. I was like, Mock, I feel like I've done this before, but I don't know if I have. I'm getting these in my algorithm all the time that I think this is in Scotland. I swear I've done this before, you guys. If I have, I apologize. I have another story for tomorrow I can tell you, but she was like, just do it anyway. I said, okay.
Yeah, I feel like then I'm like as demented because I don't remember this.
I've never played this video, but I feel like I've actually highlighted this place. I'm getting these all of these weird, because my algorithm is now full of these, you guys. But this is in Scotland. And first of all, my back would break.
In the dark?
In the dark. I mean, why do people do this stuff? What is it about this?
Oh my God.
And look how far down it goes. And it goes, I think it's over water, if I'm not mistaken. Is it over water? Like, and they're taunting him. They're taunting that lady. They're like, do you want to go? Do you want to go? And there was one before that I saw where this chick was just screaming bloody murder. She was screaming and they were taunting her, and then they let her go.
Where is that place? Where is
it's in Scotland. That's in Scotland. But I'm sure they have them here in the States, but I don't know what kind of a thrill seeker do you have to be to like what's missing for you to have to do that?
Yeah.
Because I don't ever want to do anything like that ever.
Well, I mean, I guess people are just predisposed to want to feel that sort of
thrill,
daredevil-y thrill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like the people who climb mountains, right?
Yeah.
Like I will never be that person.
No,
I have no desire.
Yeah. Our sale, like we have a lady that we work with in sales. She went on a 2-week vacation and she's like, I'm going to go climb Kilimanjaro. And we're like, that's a vacation? That was her vacation, you guys. And we're like, do they have like a 4-star, 5-star hotel there where you can just chill and go?
Are there spas like every 2,500 feet? Like, how does this work?
Do you get a massage like at a certain point? Because I don't want to do that. Yeah, but that's what people do for fun. And that's just not my thing. But yeah, those are showing up in my my algorithm now. So you guys get to see those every once in a while. And I just wanted to see so far I can't see anybody in our comments that
James would do it. James said
James wants to do it. James, you crazy, James. You crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so we have to talk about Sandra Dorley. If you have not seen these videos, oh my gosh, what a complete hag. And the first thing I looked up this woman, I've never heard of her before. She's the district attorney for Monroe County in New York State. Okay. She is a Republican since 2015. She was actually elected as a Democrat and then switched parties in 2015. She continues to be district attorney. She in no way is somebody that I want representing
us.
And the fact that I looked her up on Twitter and saw follows you next to her I was like, How does she know about us? Why? Please unfollow. Like, I don't want anything to do with this woman.
And
this is the worst of the worst.
And she's a cancer survivor?
Apparently.
Yeah,
she's got a really great dog.
I mean, it's like the one thing that you zone in on. You're like, she has a golden doodle. She's got, but that's the thing. She's a cancer survivor. So, I mean, people who survive cancer, you think would have a perspective on life where they're not going to be dicks.
She is a
dick. This is the thing. I don't understand.
Oh my God.
Like, why are you going to be a jerk to people after going through an experience like that? I don't understand how.
And the worst part is that as I did some more digging, and you're going to see some video about this. And so there's so what happened is she was nearing her house. She was going 55 and a 35. Okay. So she's driving home from wherever, and
which we've all done, by the way. We've all gone 55 and a 30. Well, most of us.
Oh my
have.
God. Absolutely. We have.
Right.
Sirens, lights, all the things that tell you, especially as a district attorney, hey, you need to pull over. This is a traffic stop. You're getting pulled over.
Exactly.
She thinks, well, I'm a half mile from home. I am the DA. And so I'm just going to go home and pull over at home. That was her thinking. But it wasn't really her thinking, because there's been a lot of twists and turns to this story where she literally called the chief of police as she's being pulled, like as the lights and sirens are going, she's calling in saying, can you just tell your guy to back off? I'm not a danger.
Because basically she pulled a, do you know who I am?
Oh, and you'll hear her pull it.
That's what it is.
Several times. This woman is disgusting. So here's the first part of the body cam footage. And this guy, the cop that pulled her or tried to pull her over, so precious. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's the first part.
Sorry, I'm the DA. I was going 55 coming home from work.
55 and a 35.
I don't really care.
Oh my
Okay.
God. So you can call Dennis.
Can you please come over here? You're on this is on a traffic stop, ma'am.
Yes, it is. You can call Dennis Kohlmeyer right now.
Okay, I'm telling you why I stopped you. You didn't stop at all. Did you not hear my lights or sirens or anything?
No, I didn't actually. I was on the phone.
Okay.
Oh
You're not supposed to be on the phone while you're driving either.
Yes, I am with the hands-free. Absolutely.
Okay. Why are you so upset at me? I'm doing my job. You just admitted to me that you were going 55 and a 35 on Phillips Road.
To leave me alone. It's
Officer Kristi. Can you stay over here, ma'am? This is a traffic. This is a legal traffic stop. Do you have your ID?
Unreal.
No, it's in my purse. Here.
You have your purse right there.
No, this is my lunch. Would you talk to Dennis? This is ridiculous. Just go away.
What
Hello,
a
sir.
horrible human being.
Good, ma'am. Can you please stay at the back? This is a legal traffic stop. Can you please stay over here?
No. Hey, baby, get your little guy out of here.
Sir, I stopped her for going 55 and a 35 on Phillips Road.
On Phillips Road.
And she failed to stop. She drove all the way back home and parked in her garage. And now she's not complying with any of my commands. Ma'am, do not go inside.
Oh my God.
I cannot believe this woman.
Oh my, it gets worse. It just continues to get worse.
All right. Ma'am, come outside. You can't just go inside. This is a traffic stop. Here's your phone back.
I understand the law better than you. Would you
953. Can you have a supervisor come to the scene?
Apparently not.
Get out of my fucking house.
I don't know why you're acting like this towards me.
Because
Can you please go to the back of the vehicle?
I'm not going to. I'm home. I was okay, 55.
I don't care if you got home. You were supposed to stop at Phillips Road when I pulled you over. When my lights were initiated.
I didn't know you were stopping me. There was lots of other people on the road.
I was right behind you.
Yeah? There were other people on the road too.
Okay, I was directly behind you.
I'm not dealing with you right now.
Can you please step over here?
I'm not going to.
God.
What is the reason you're so against what I'm doing? I'm doing my job. You say you're a DA?
I am the DA.
Okay.
The DA.
I am the DA.
Oh, the one. Okay. Oh my gosh. She needs to lose her job.
Just don't understand the hostility towards me. I'm doing my job.
Put her in cuffs, man. Put her in the back of the car.
Asshole?
I am the DA in Monroe County.
I understand that, but that doesn't give you a right to go 55 and a 35. And you even admitted to me that you went 50. I understand that, ma'am. I understand that.
No one gives a crap.
If you give me a traffic ticket, that's fine. I'm the one who prosecutes it, okay? Just go ahead and do it. Go ahead.
I just don't understand the hostility. I understand you're coming home from work.
God, these people think they're above the law.
Right?
They just think they're so much better than everybody
On the
else.
phone to begin with, you should
yes.
know that.
On hands-free? Absolutely.
Okay.
You should know the law.
Okay, if it is hands-free, that's great. But at the end of the day, you're going 55 and a 35. That's 20 miles over the speed limit.
Okay.
Hi.
I mean,
So
listen,
that's the first part. So there's more.
I mean, it's unbelievable. She not only does she think she's above the law, but she's a colossal bitch, this woman.
Oh my God. The worst. The worst. And so this poor fellow ends up having to call a supervisor because he's talking to like the chief of police. I'm sure the chief of police ended up saying something like, this is your traffic stop. You do what you need to do. So he calls a supervisor, and then the supervisor who knows her, who knows Sandra, comes, and then they have this conversation.
Hi. I'll talk to Jeff. Jeff.
Okay.
I was just on the phone with the chief.
Okay. I'm the supervisor with her right now, so.
Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't want to pull over on Phillips Road. It was just, I figured I
you
was
didn't-
pull into my driveway.
Okay. Well,
And I called Dennis and I said,
Okay.
that's me that they're trying to stop.
Okay.
So
But-
that's the end of story.
Okay, but you should know better, right?
I was speeding. I know that.
Okay. So why didn't you just stop like you're supposed
Because
to?
I didn't feel like stopping on Phillips
Well,
Road
that's
at 5:30.
that's not your choice.
Oh my God.
You know that.
Well, I made it my choice.
Okay. Well, now you made it a bigger deal than it needed to be.
It's a really bigger deal. And when people start coming, it's a much bigger deal.
Well, you caused that, Sandra.
Yes.
What do you want us to do? Not do our job because it's you?
No, it's fine. I said, write me a ticket. But I was just saying, I was not going to stop on Phillips Road at 5:30.
Okay.
Anybody else would be
you broke
arrested
another
by
law
now,
because
right?
of that.
Anybody
Right?
else?
And you should know better. That's not a traffic ticket. That's an arrestable offense, Sandra.
Yeah.
You know this. Why would you not just pull over? You made it a bigger deal than it needed to be. And you knew why you were getting stopped, clearly.
Clearly.
He could have stopped you, had a conversation with you, and been done with it. But now you made it this whole big deal.
Clearly.
For no reason. Did you provide him your license and registration?
Yeah.
Okay.
So now there's
You have her
three
ID?
people there? Now there's three people there.
The guy with the beard is the one that originally pulled her over or tried to pull her over.
For a routine traffic stop, now there's like three people there.
I figured I will just stop in my driveway.
Oh my God.
That's what I figured. I thought it would be easier.
Really?
Easier?
Yeah, this looks a lot easier, lady.
That was not the right choice.
And you know the deal if he would have stopped you there on.
Unbelievable. It's
So,
just unreal.
I did some digging, and it turns out there is no one to run against her.
Oh my God.
They don't have another candidate. So I don't even know what's going to happen with this election cycle. Like, she's been in this position for quite some time.
Forever.
There is no one to run against her. And like at this point, I'd be rooting for a Democrat because she's awful. She is awful.
Yeah, this happens probably in a lot of places. I feel like this is across the board, all over the country. This happens, whether it's Democrat or Republican. These people get into these jobs and they get really comfy and they feel like they are above everybody else. Anybody else would have been arrested in that position. And how dare her? I mean,
I know.
How dare she thinks she is above everybody. And listen, we teach our children if you get pulled over for speeding or whatever, and I feel the same way. You pull over, you're respectful.
Yep.
You be nice to the cop. You do what he says. You take the ticket. You know what I mean? That's what you do. You just be nice to them. They're doing their freaking job.
Exactly.
She obviously did not do that. How dare she?
And it was even worse when she released her statement about it, because she was basically saying, I admit I wasn't paying attention to my speed. Once I realized that the intention was to pull me over, I called the police chief to inform him I wasn't a threat. That doesn't even matter.
It's not
That's
what you
not
do.
the point.
Yeah.
And then she said the Webster officer followed me to my house and issued me a speeding ticket for my speed. I acknowledged I was speeding and I accepted the ticket. And the following day I pled guilty and sent the ticket to the town court because I believe in accepting responsibility for my actions.
Bull crap.
Exactly. And so she's saying nobody, including me, is above the rule of law, even traffic laws. In no place in this entire statement did she apologize for being an absolute C word, which is what she was.
It took It took like 4 people to get her to accept a ticket. And then she all she had to do was pull over. What an entitled biatch.
Oh my God, the worst. And so like the fact that she follows us, I was so grossed out by that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it made me wonder, like, does she watch our show? Like, is she going to be tuning in today to hear us talk about this story?
Yeah,
if you are listening, Sandra, please unfollow.
Yeah.
This is not who we want as part of our audience. You're awful.
Take the R away from your name, because this is the thing. This is why people that are on our side of the aisle get a bad rap, is because of people like you.
Yep.
Honestly.
Awful. And then now, to make matters worse for her, by the way, she ended up deleting her Twitter for a little bit. Like, I saw that it was down yesterday and then now it's back up. So I don't know what that's all about. But now the governor, Kathy Hochul, is going to be investigating her. So she's saying district attorneys are responsible for prosecuting, these kinds of offenses and must perform their duties with the highest ethical standards. I learned about this earlier, and this undermined her ability to hold others accountable for violating the law. We're deeply grateful for the women and men of law enforcement who put on the uniform every day. It sounds like she's going to be doing some investigating. She's referred it to the Commission on Prosecutorial
And that's the
Conduct.
thing. Our side of the aisle should be about upholding the law and being responsible and taking personal responsibility. That's what we're all about. You know what I mean? That is. Plus, she's got 2 kids. Like, what kind of an example is that?
Right? What an idiotic thing.
I mean?
I just cannot understand why she made this so much worse than it had to be. God,
it's just a freaking traffic stop.
It's just awful.
Just be nice. Just be nice.
Right?
Just be nice. Is it hard to be nice? Good Lord.
Anyway, it is time for some My Pillow Toks. And man, do I have the best. You guys are going to cry. You might cry because I cried. I might cry again. And I even know what's going to happen. But should we start with that one or should we end with that one? Because it's a good cry. It's not a bad cry.
Let's start with the good cry one, and then we can go on to kittens and puppies and stuff.
All right, perfect. So, and I did not expect to cry at this. Like, you start to first hear the story, you don't know where it's going to go, and then all of a sudden it gets to be very, very much a crying story.
Monday cry, you guys.
Okay, TikTok, I need your help. I'm hoping that this person is on TikTok. Might be far-fetched, but if it finds her, it finds her. I work at Starbucks part-time. I just got off a shift. I go in at 4 a.m. most of the time, and I don't get off till 9:30 or 10 o'clock. I'm okay with that. I love that job. I am a morning person. I'm peppy as crap. I'm loud and I'm proud, and we love it. This morning I was loud and proud and peppy, and a woman came in. I could tell she was kind of struggling, and I was like, a little extra pep in our step today. We got to get her smiling. So we did. And a couple minutes later, she came in and she gave my manager a note and asked her to hand it to me. And so I was like, okay. It says, I travel a lot for work. That usually means late nights and very early mornings. I haven't had to travel to Little Rock in 6 months until this week. I've been here for 2 days, and so far you have been the only person I have encountered that has been genuinely kind. You were the first face I saw this morning, and you really brightened my day. I'm sure you are exhausted because life, right? That's all of us. But you deserve to know you made a difference in someone's day today just by being kind. I'm also willing to bet you have a great sense of humor. Who doesn't appreciate that? I hope you have the very best day. I know I will, thanks to you. Treat yourself to something nice. I can tell you deserve it. Maybe just not coffee. Haha. Sincerely, the groggy woman at 5 a.m. Do good in this world, and it will always come back to you. If you are that lady, this is my first Mother's Day without my mom. She passed in June. I have the Starbucks job on top of my full-time job because I have a lot of bills to pay and a lot of debt that I have inherited to get under control. And I would be lying to you if I told you that I was not dreading Mother's Day. And so I decided that I was going to buy the urn that I have been looking at and bring my mom home for Mother's Day. And I had no idea how I was going to afford it. But the $200 you put in that note today allows me to spend Mother's Day with my mom. And I appreciate you so much for that.
God, crying.
So if you're out there and if you're on TikTok, thank you for the impact that you made on my life. And I hope that you see this and know that you did something that I will never forget. So thank you.
Oh, isn't that the sweetest?
I know, right. I know. They're still good people. Janice, you're right. That's divine.
Right? That was a message from her mama.
That was her message from her mama. Right. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, just thought we all needed a good little cry this morning.
Oh my gosh, Mock.
And now we'll have some laughs, okay?
Okay. All right.
Because anyway,
that was absolutely the sweetest.
So sweet. So it's always like a huge undertaking to try to capture first moments of your baby's milestones, right? And so like you want to be there with a camera when they when they do their first crawl, or when they stand, or when they say their first word. And chances are you're not always ready for those things.
No.
So this baby was learning to crawl, and the mama wanted to have that camera ready, and she was ready, and that baby was going to crawl to her, and then this happened.
So oh my God, he's like, hey, what about me though? But what about me?
The amount that I love that dog.
That dog is awesome. That dog is like, this kid has stolen my thunder, man. Not
so
today.
Great.
Not today.
Also, this little girl has had it with some people, and I feel her on this.
Why are you having a hard time?
Because I don't like some people.
I feel her, man. I feel her.
Right?
God. I know.
Oh my God.
I get it.
It's so get it. Oh my
people,
gosh.
she just listened to our last story, you know? It's true.
You know that lady that's always like, show me your like most useless secret talent?
Yes.
We have a new one.
All right, here we go.
Show me your completely useless secret talent.
What?
Show me your completely useless secret
what is he
talent.
doing?
So he like folds all of his toes under.
I can't do that. That's amazing.
I know.
That is remarkable. If only you could make money doing that, right?
Oh my gosh. And then
This
I
is
have to get my camera ready because I got to show you this picture. Okay, there it is. All right. So look at what somebody did to their sleeping dog. I love this so much.
Oh my God, that is awesome. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that the best?
He's like, what? That is so Tessie. Remember you used to want me to do that to Tessie? I had a dog that looked just like that.
So I tried to do it to Ella last night when she was sleeping. Kind of.
Kind of.
She's got like pants and her shoes on. It kind of
looks
like
a little bit, kind of. Oh
I mean, it's not as good, but I tried it.
You tried.
She was out, man. She was out like a light.
We don't ever have dogs that will ever stay out. You know, they're just too hyper. Maybe Astrid. I may be able to do it to Astrid.
Okay, and then last one. Sometimes dogs get itchy ears, and for that, we always recommend coat defense. This dog clearly does not have coat defense, so he's taking care of business on his own.
He's like, look at my butt. Look at. Listen. Oh my gosh. She totally needs some powder, some preventative powder.
Anyway, those are your talks for today.
Those are good talks. Really good talks. That first one slayed me.
No, isn't it the sweetest?
Guys, there's always a little bit of kindness in the world. Always.
That's right.
We got through Monday. We got through it.
Yeah. And it wasn't like a huge show. It was just a normal plus a few minutes show.
Almost a 2-hour show. Almost. We almost got there.
Well, we're closer to an hour and a half than 2 hours.
That's true.
So.
That is true. You guys, it's Monday. We're going to get through it. All of us going to get through it together.
I have a gift. Can I just
that's right. Mock has a gift. I got to go to my P.O. box.
This is from Karen Rhodes, who wrote the nicest card. Oh my gosh, the nicest card ever. And I know she sent you something as well.
I will
it's
go
different.
Today.
It's different than what I got, which is this air freshener thingy.
A little raccoon.
And I love this. So it has like a little lemon air freshener thingy attached. I have to figure out how to use it, but I love it. Thank you, Karen Rhodes. Thank you so much.
Sweet.
Appreciate it.
Very sweet. You guys have a wonderful Monday, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.